A Mount Washington man is lucky to be alive after a run-in with a potentially deadly bite from a tiny tick, a bite that he received while hiking at Lake Cumberland. Local 12's Rich Jaffe joins us now from Mount Auburn with this rather frightening story. Rich.
Curtis, this time of year there are still a lot of people in the woods. Kentucky's deer gun season is in full swing. Ohio's bow hunting season is open as well, and people continue to hike in the woods all through the fall. But Jim Thomas knows that until it gets cold and stays cold, there can also potentially be a deadly little bug in those woods. No stranger to the outdoors, Jim Thomas is camping out for a space at Sands Montessori School. But it was his hiking adventure at Lake Cumberland in June that has had a lasting impact on him. 3 weeks after the hike, he started feeling sick with a fever, headache, and a backache. A few days later, he was worse.
I don't remember what happened, but what I'm told is I drove myself to the emergency room and they immediately admitted me because I had like 105 fever.
At this point, no one thought about the fact that while hiking, Jim had been bitten by a tiny bloodsucker called a Lone Star tick. Once in the hospital, doctors took out his gallbladder.
They put a stent in my bile duct, and they were telling my wife at that time that I was getting sicker every hour and that she should call people in because I probably wasn't going to make it through the day.
The tick had given Jim ehrlichiosis. According to the Centers for Disease Control, the potentially lethal disease is found primarily in a belt that swings just below Cincinnati. As doctors tried to figure out what was wrong with Jim, he slipped into a coma.
They woke me up 3 weeks after that. So my kidney shut down, my liver shut down, I wasn't breathing on my own, they had to intubate me.
Hungry for support, Jim's wife set up a Facebook page for him. His sister-in-law actually remembered the tick bite. With no other options, the doctors tested him for the disease and found it. Simple antibiotics followed. Unable to speak or even swallow, Jim was transferred to Drake Hospital for rehab, a process he's still working on with the help of physical therapists. Initially, it was a
challenge to walk greater than maybe 30, 40, 50 feet, unable to climb steps without severe shortness of breath, a lot of fatigue. He just was quite tired to do normal simple tasks of standing and walking. Getting out of bed was certainly a challenge for him.
Better now, Jim's
still gonna camp, still gonna hike, but I will take better precautions now.
Those precautions include simple things like tucking your pants into your socks when you're in the woods and using insect repellents with DEET on them. Jim and his family, when they got back from that hike, did a check over their bodies. They found some ticks, but they missed the little one that apparently bit him. In Mount Auburn, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Curtis?
Wow. All right, Rich, thank you. Jim works at University Hospital, which is where he was treated. Because doctors in Cincinnati don't see ehrlichiosis cases very often, his associates have used him as a case study and have presented their findings to other doctors. Jim still has some problems, by the way, as a result of the disease, but he continues to improve.
Good.